Hey guys, Rock and Roller for Life here. I just a couple minutes ago, I just now realized that I never made a part two to my favorite albums in my collection. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. This video is probably going to be shorter because I already got through a whole lot of them in the first one. Because I wanted that one to be a little shorter actually, but sometimes I go rambling on and lose track of time. But so yeah, I'm just going to get right into it. So this album I'm about to show right here, I just posted this on my Instagram account as well. I'm doing a ranking on there as well. You can find me at Rock and Roller for Life, exactly the same as my YouTube channel. But this album is Electric Light Orchestra, a New World Record. I absolutely love this album. I think this is the album that really highlights Jeff Lynne as a producer, a songwriter. He has a very unique voice as well that I really enjoy listening to. But yeah, this has some great hits on it. Really great. Starts off with Tightrope. It's an amazing song. Then goes into Telephone Line. Love that song as well. My favorites are Tightrope, Telephone Line, Living Thing, and Do Ya. And the closer, Shangri-La, is pretty good as well. But absolutely love this one. This is a remaster of the CD, so it actually comes with about 6 bonus tracks, which is really cool. But yeah, absolutely love this album. I have about 6 ELO studio albums. They are one of my favorite bands of all time for sure. Alright, so for my next album, this man is probably the greatest songwriter of all time. If he's not the greatest, then he has to be at least in the top 5. But of course I'm talking about Bob Dylan. This is his 5th album. It's called Bringing It All Back Home. I just think, all of his albums, whenever he first started out, he was more of like a protest singer. He protested, racism and bigotry, and he was a big part of the civil rights movement. But this one, he adds some. I think the first half of this album is electric guitar, and the next half is acoustic. Because when he first started out, he was only acoustic. But yeah, so this album's awesome. It starts off with a song called Subterranean Homesick Blues. He kind of raps the lyrics. So did Bob Dylan create rap music? I don't know. He may have. But yeah, this one's got it's a very varied album. It has some really long songs, some really short songs. Favorite ones are probably Subterranean Homesick Blues. I really enjoy Outlaw Blues is really good. Bob Dylan's 115th Dream, a really wacky song. He always has some of those really wacky songs on his albums. Mr. Tambourine Man, probably one of the most famous ones from this one. And It's Alright Ma, I'm Only Bleeding, which is actually a song that we had to discuss in my English class. And I love that song. So I got to really analyze the lyrics and kind of give my interpretation of what they meant. But I do love the final song on here as well. It's All Over Now, Baby Blue, another hit for him. I believe it was on his first Greatest Hits album. But yeah, I love this album so much. Another remaster. Most of the CDs I have are remasters for the most part. Alright, so the next album, it's a band that kind of arose out of the New Wobble. And if you don't know what that is, that's the new wave of British heavy metal. This band is Def Leppard, and it's Pyromania. I love this album. I rank this one a whole hell of a lot higher than I would rank Hysteria. Hysteria is a good album as well, but I think that the songs are just way too overplayed. This one has some songs that were a little more minor in terms of being hits. They were more minor hits, but they're really great. Every song on here is really awesome. This is just an awesome record through and through. So some of the songs on here that maybe not a lot of people, well, I mean, if you love Def Leppard, then you do know the songs, but maybe that some people haven't heard of. Too Late for Love is one on here that I think is a really underrated song. Foolin', that's another one. Coming Under Fire is a really great one as well. But this one, the hits off of this one are Photograph, probably the biggest hit off of this one. Rock of Ages is another big hit off this one. But I mean, every song has its own unique feel to it. I think this is Def Leppard's greatest album. It's my opinion. A lot of people probably pick Hysteria. I also have their debut record as well, and that one's pretty good. But this is where I think Joe Elliott really started to come into his own vocals, and just a great album overall. Alright, so for the next album, we got my favorite Black Sabbath album, Master of Reality. Absolutely love this one. This one has the best riffs on it. This one is their third release. A lot of people would probably pick Paranoid, but once again, I'm not going with the crowd here probably, but I love Master of Reality. There's two short instrumentals on here, but I think they're not too long, and they add a decent amount of atmosphere to the album. But this one's great. This has After Forever, Children of the Grave. That's awesome. It starts off with Sweet Leaf, starts off with the infamous cough that everybody knows whenever he starts off the song. Lord of This World is great. Solitude, Into the Void, just a great album. And it's actually one of Black Sabbath's shorter albums, but I think it packs such a punch that you kind of don't even care that it's that short. In fact, I find myself, even after I'm already done listening to it the first time, I go ahead and let it play again because it's a shorter album. You can make the time to listen to it 2 times in a row, and I definitely recommend you do because this album really packs a punch, and I absolutely love it. So for the next, this is a doom metal band. Love the album title, love the album cover. This is Candlemas, Epicus, Doomicus, Metallicus. It only has 6 songs on it, and I think the total runtime is like about 40 minutes, so these songs are definitely long. But I love longer songs and longer instrumentations. But this starts off with one of my favorite songs of all time. The song on here also called Solitude, just like there was a song on Master of Reality called Solitude. But Solitude is a wonderful way to set the tone on this album. Really awesome. Demon's Gate, another great song. My second favorite is probably A Sorcerer's Pledge. But they're all great. Crystal Ball is great as well. Just an infamous album cover. Just a band that paved the way for all the other doom metal bands. This is a genre of doom metal called epic doom metal. It doesn't have like the growling vocals or anything like that. They're more clean vocals, more in like an operatic style. But amazing album. Definitely recommend you pick it up. Their second album features a different lead singer, and actually their second album is really awesome too. Messiah Marklin has a very powerful voice. But yeah, would definitely recommend this album. But if give doom metal a chance. Maybe you don't like it just because of what you think it entails or whatever, but just give it a chance. I think you'll enjoy it. Alright, so this next band is going pretty far away from the doom metal. This is like a pop rock or a power pop, or I don't know what you want to call it, but I'm talking about Cheap Trick in color. Absolutely love this. This is their second album. Their first one was a lot weirder. It showed like the weirder side of them. This one delved more into just the more poppy sound, but I love this album. This is a shorter album as well, so I usually play this one a couple times in a row. But it has great ones on here. It has one of their biggest hits, probably their biggest hit, I Want You to Want Me. Love that one. I do like the version on their live album at Budokan better, but I do like this version as well. Some other great songs. Oh Caroline, Southern Girls is actually my favorite on here. Southern Girls is great. Big Eyes is a great one. Downed is really awesome. Love this album so much. If you never listened to Cheap Trick, give them a chance. I think you're going to really enjoy them. I've heard some people call them the American Beatles, because they do borrow a lot from the Beatles in terms of how they write their songs and how they perform. But great album. Alright, this is one of my favorite blues rock albums of all time. Sadly, they're considered a supergroup. They didn't really stay together for that long. I think they only released 4 full-length albums. But this is their second album. One of the best album covers of all time, once again. Absolutely love it. It's a very psychedelic album, and an album cover as well. This is Cream, Disraeli Gears. Oh man, this has so many big hits on it. Starts off with Strange Brew, amazing song. Sunshine of Your Love, probably one of their biggest hits. I love that. I mean, how could you not love that? I mean, it really is just an infectious, awesome song. Some other one of my favorites. I like Blue Condition, but I really enjoy Tales of Brave Ulysses. I love that one. It ends with a really quirky song called Mother's Lament. Really weird, but really awesome. I mean, I think that's what makes this album so awesome, is how quirky it is. Yeah, I love this album. I mean, just look at that album cover. I mean, that's iconic. So amazing. Whoever designed that album cover really did a great job. But yeah, absolutely love this. Alright, this is another album that I just recently posted on my Instagram account. Once again, you can find me at Rock and Roller for Life. This is the Cure, Disintegration. I think this is where the Cure just, I mean, this is such an emotional album. I mean, Robert Smith really poured his heart and soul into making this album. Really amazing. I love Pictures of You. So great. Love Song, that's their biggest hit, and it's a very simplistic song, and I know it's not one of his favorites that he's ever written, but it became a big hit for them. Lullaby, very awesome song as well. I mean, every song on here is awesome. Fascination Street, one of my favorites. I love this album. This is a long album. You can really lose yourself in this album. Longer songs, longer instrumentations, very long intros to the songs, very long instrumentals, intros to the songs, but amazing. I mean, there's nobody like Robert Smith and nobody like The Cure for me. I mean, I love almost every single one of their albums. Sadly, only own 3, but I definitely want to change that soon. Alright, so the final album that I'm going to show today is one of the best heavy metal singers. This is a great debut album by him. Really put him on the map, because, I mean, he had already been in other bands before. I'm talking about Dio, Holy Diver. An amazing debut album. I can't even, that's an understatement. I mean, it's just kind of crazy how he, he was with a band called Elf at first, then he went to Rainbow, and then he even was the lead singer for Black Sabbath for 2 albums. And then he came out with this album, really cemented his legacy with this album. Look at that album cover, it's awesome too. But yeah, starts off with Stand Up and Shout, love that song. Holy Diver, the title track, awesome. Caught in the Middle's awesome. Don't Talk to Strangers, Straight Through the Heart, Rainbow in the Dark is awesome. I mean, gosh, such an awesome record. I mean, it really is. And, his next album, Last in Line, is also an amazing record. I think it's a little bit, it's not as good, barely not as good. But this one just hits it out of the park. I mean, it's so awesome. I love it. Alright, so that concludes my my favorite albums in my collection. I'm sorry it took me so long to get around to doing part 2. I've been preparing for finals and everything, and I just kind of got lost. I lost track of time and lost track of everything I was doing. But I hope you enjoyed. If you've never heard some of these albums, now that I've told you about them, hopefully you'll go and check them out. Maybe even actually buy the CDs. I know a lot of people, listen to digital songs and like on Spotify and stuff, but I still feel like physical media is the way to go. I love physical media. I just recently got a record player, so I'm going to start getting a lot of records. It's around Christmas time. It's a great time to start getting some. But yeah, comment. Once again, always open for suggestions. I mean, always. I would love to do some videos that you guys suggest, because then I know that it's something you actually want to see. But yeah, subscribe, like, and just thank you for always supporting me, and hopefully I'm entertaining. Alright, catch you guys later.